Very good morning, dear friends. Myself, Dr. Vikrant Sudhakar Palekar. I am working as an assistant professor in Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Jawar, Palghar. In this particular video, we are going to see the topic carbonyl compounds, and we'll start with the first IUPAC nomenclature of aldehyde and ketones. Basically, the nomenclature of any organic compound is not new to you. As in your earlier classes, you have studied detailed the nomenclature rules, and with the help of these rules, how we can nomenclate the organic compounds in the various way. So basically, we will start first. What is IUPAC system? As we know that it particularly stand for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. As we know that as the living on the earth progresses, there are number of compounds which are being isolated inside the nature, and at the initial stage they have been named from the source from which they are obtained. But later on it is being creating confusion and misinformation among the scientific community, and in order to have the uniformity, the IUPAC system come forward with certain rules. So these particular rules, if you apply, you will able to give the unique names throughout the universe. So whenever you want to give the IUPAC name to any organic molecules, as there are three basic parts which are being seen. What are the three basic parts? One is prefix, then middle one is parent, and last one is suffix. So these are the three parts we need to remember all the times when we want to give prefix, parent and suffix. Let us go through one by one. What are the prefixes? These are the simple rules which I am revising. First, in the prefix part, means at the initial part, what we need to remember. So the prefix is basically being used for the substituent and its position in the carbon chain, or we can say longest continuous chain. So we need to use this particular prefix as a number followed by the substituent name. For example, suppose the name is 2-chloropropane. So 2-chloro is the prefix, where 2 is the position and chloro is the name of the substituent. If you are having more than 2 substituent, then we have to use which particular way? Alphabetical order we need to carry out. Then let's, for example, this is a compound and I want to give the IUPAC nomenclature. So first of all, what I will find? I will find a longest continuous chain. Then I can easily identify it as this particular chain, side chain, and this particular side chain is being a part of the substituent, or which I can identify as a prefix. So what I will do, as I can clearly observe, there are two substituents, one is ethyl and another is methyl. So I will apply the alphabetical order. Okay, so alphabetical order, E comes first and then M come later. So how will I name? 2-ethyl, 5-methyl hexane. So this is a simple rules we need to remember when we want to give or we want to identify the prefix. Then the second rule, when you have the multiple prefixes, for example, same substituent present more than 2 times inside the longest continuous chain, then what word we need to remember? Di. If it represent for 3 times, then you have to use the word tri. So this is how we can use it. Let us see this example. So this is a structure, and when I look this particular structure, I can easily see that there are 2 bromo which are being present as a 3 and 4 position. So bromo 2 times means di bromo I will use, and I will write its position, that is 3, 4. So what will the IUPAC name of this compound? 3,4-dibromohexane. Okay, this is the second role which tells about multiple substituent. Then I will come to a very important part, that is parent. In order to find the parent, what we need to find? A longest continuous chain present in the molecule. Okay, so this is the first part we need to remember. Find out the longest continuous chain that is corresponding to parent compound. Suppose this is a structure. So when I see the structure, I will first of all find out in the longest continuous chain how many different or how many large number of or maximum number of carbons present. So from this red color chain, I can easily identify that there are 7 carbons which are present in the longest continuous chain. So I will say 7 correspond to what? Which particular parent? Heptane. So I will identify that heptane as the parent compound. Then I will start numbering from such an end, so that the substituent should get minimum number. Okay, as we know that in the whenever we identify any chain, there are 2 ends. Okay, so for this particular compound, I can start numbering from this way also, or I can start numbering in this way also. But what I need to remember, the substituent should get minimum number. Okay, then you can follow the alphabetical order. So this is how you can easily identify the parent compound. Suppose for this particular compound, we will find the longest continuous chain. Okay, so this is the first spot. So in case of the cyclic compound, we have to first identify the cyclic chain which contain maximum number of carbon. For this particular compound, I can clearly see that as there are 6 carbons. Okay, in the cyclic chain. So I will consider this particular chain as a cyclohexane. Okay, so this is my parent compound. Cyclohexane is my parent compound. Then I will identify what are the prefixes, means what are the substituent present. So what will be the name for this particular compound? It is a 1,1,3-dimethyl cyclohexane. Okay, so while giving the numbering, you should start in this way. If you start in the another way, that is in the anticlockwise direction, so what will happen? Your substituent will get maximum number. So this is also you need to remember. Your substituent should get minimum numbering. Suppose for this particular compound, I will identify cyclohexane as the parent chain and then numbering, so that substituent should get minimum number. So this is how we can start. Then the last part, and that is being very important, which is being finding out the suffix. So suffix is, what is meant by suffix? It is the name of an organic molecule from which that particular molecules having the family name. That is, we can say easily the functional group. Suffix is the part which is directly resembling your functionality present in your organic compounds. Suppose for example, if your compound is only hydrocarbon, means it contains carbon and hydrogen which are connected by means of a single bonds. So what is the suffix you are going to use? ANE. As we know that there are various suffixes. Go through this slide, you can easily identify. Suppose your compound is alkane, then use the word suffix as a ANE. For alkene, used ENE. If your compound is, let us say, alkynes, used YNE. Suppose if your compound is aryl benzene, if your compound is alkyl halide, that is haloalkanes. In case of the alcohol, you have to use the suffix OL. And for aldehyde and ketones, it is also being mentioned. So remember this particular suffixes which you need to write when we want to give the functionality. So these are the different classes which are being shown, and what are the suffix being used. So basically we will try to highlight on this particular two families only. One is aldehyde. For aldehyde I have to use the suffix al, okay, and for ketone the last word from the ketone, that is o n e. So these are the two words which we need to used as a part of the suffix which is being used. As we know that aldehyde and ketones are the compounds from the carbonyl compounds family. Okay, so these are the two carbonyl compounds which we need to remember for giving IUPAC nomenclature. As we know that organic compounds are being classified, as you have seen the classification of organic compounds into open chain, closed chain, that is we used to call as aliphatic, aromatic. The aromatic compounds are again homocyclic, heterocyclic and so on. Now we will start with our main content of syllabus which is being expected to remember. Carbonyl compounds. If we see the carbonyl compounds, this is a structure where carbon is bonded to oxygen by means of a double bond. Okay, so this is a simple structure where you will find the carbon is also having the sp2 hybridization and oxygen is also having the same sp2 hybridization. So as we know that the carbonyl group is the species where carbon is bonded to oxygen by means of a double bond, and it has two valencies which can be fulfilled by two substances. This substance may be hydrogen or may be alkyl group or it may be aromatic compounds. Okay, so if your compound is, let us say, aldehyde, so what are the two valencies? You will see one side there is a alkyl group or it can be a aromatic compound, and this side there is a compulsorily hydrogen. So when such a functionality is present in your compound, then you can say your compound is aldehyde. In the second part, in ketone, what you have the difference? Both the group joined to carbonyl group may be, let us say, alkyl group or maybe let us say aromatic compound, or they may be one alkyl and one aromatic. So such compounds are being called as a ketones. So this is the basic difference we need to remember. Now we will go to the next part, nomenclature rule. When you identify your functionality contain C double bond OH as a functionality in the last part, then what is your first part is need to remember is that we have to use the suffix al. Use the suffix al. Now whatever the name you are going to give to your aldehyde, it must be in this way, alkanal. The last letter E is being replaced by al, right? So this is you need to remember. So in order to give the nomenclature, you have to find out the longest continuous chain which contain the carbonyl functionality. Then always start numbering from this carbonyl carbon first and then towards last. So this is you have to remember. Remember, I will revise or repeat again. Start numbering from carbonyl group as a first number and then proceed in such a way that your substituent, if present, then give the minimum numbering. This is the IUPAC nomenclature what we have to have. In the common way also you can start. The common way is that you can give the numbering alpha, beta, gamma, delta to carbon number 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a common name. So 2 number carbon is called as alpha, then next one is beta, then gamma, delta, and so on. So this is a common name. Now we will see the IUPAC nomenclature rules for ketones. As we know that ketones are the compound which contain alkyl group on one side and another alkyl groups on another side. Such compounds are called as unsymmetrical ketones, where you will find both the groups are different. Okay. So what I will do, I will select a longest continuous chain So this will be your longest continuous chain including the carbonyl carbon. Then you will start from such an end so that your carbonyl carbon should get minimum number or lowest number. This you need to remember. And the suffix you need to use is ONE, last word. So your general nomenclature will be alkanone. If your compound is cyclic ketone, then you have to use the word cyclo. As from this structure I can easily identify that there are 5 carbons in the cycle, including the carbonyl carbon. So it is a pentanone, but it is a cyclic compound, so what will I name? Cyclopentanone as the IUPAC name to cyclic ketones. Now we will see the one by one examples for the aldehyde. Remember, for aldehydes we need to use the general system as alkanal. Okay, so when your compound is containing 2 substance, only the hydrogens, means there is only 1 carbon. So for 1 carbon what we can write? Methanol. Okay, so this is a structure which is being called as a methanol. And what is its common name? Formaldehyde. These structures are quite familiar, as in earlier classes you have gone through is, if there are 2 carbons, then ethanol. What is the common name? Acetaldehyde. Next one. So when I see the structure, first I will find out the longest continuous chain, then I can easily see that there are 5 carbons. So I will say penta. Then I can easily identify this particular compound contains CHO. So it is a pentanol. So remember, always the carbonyl carbon will get the first functionality. Next, substituted aldehyde. So I will find, first I will select a longest continuous chain, then I can see there is a substituent. What is the substituent? Chloro, and it is present at which particular position? 2. So what will I name? 2-chloropentanol. So this is how we can nomenclate. Then this particular structure, longest continuous chain, first 4 carbons, butanol. What is the common name? Butyraldehyde. Next, this particular structure, try to give the name. First I will select the longest continuous chain, it contains 5 carbons. Okay, it should be of course pentanol. Then I will see suffix part, I will see now the prefix part. What is the prefix? Methyl. Then at what carbon it is being joined? 3. So what will you name? 3-methyl pentanol. Next, cyclic aldehyde. As I can see, there is a cycle of 6 carbon and 1 carbon is outside the ring. So what is the cycle? It is 6 carbon. So what is the name? Cyclohexane. And then 1 carbon outside, that is cyclohexane carbaldehyde. Remember this structure. Many times we write in the wrong way. You have to remember cyclohexane carbaldehyde because there is a aldehyde group outside the cyclic system. So remember this structure. This particular part, this structure. Okay, it is again a cyclic compound, but that too are substituted. So I will see substituent at this particular position. So I will start numbering in this way because it will get minimum number from this anticlockwise direction. If I start numbering from this way, what number I will get? 1, 2, 3 and 4. I know that 3 is minimum. So I will start numbering in the anticlockwise direction. So what will I name? 3-methyl cyclopentane carbaldehyde. Again the aldehyde group is outside the cyclic system. So you have to use the word carbaldehyde. Now we are going to see the functionality which contain more than 2 aldehyde groups. As aldehyde group present for 2 times, that is the word di. we are going to use, and it is having the suffix dial. Okay, so when you have the functionality where there are two carbons, so it will be name is ethane dial. Then for the structure 1 2 3 4, 4 carbons, so what is name? Butane dial, but I must mention the position 1 and 4, so what will name? 1,4-butane dial. So this is how we can give the naming to dial system. Now we need to remember compounds which are from aromatic aldehydes, where you will find one part there is a aromatic ring is joined and another part there is a hydrogen is joined. So this particular is very well known compound known as benzaldehyde. Remember the structure, benzaldehyde. If there is a substituent present in the benzaldehyde, so this particular part will be my prefix. What is the group? Ethoxy. At what position it is? It is being 3. I will start numbering in the anticlockwise direction. So what is the name? 3-ethoxy, and parent compound is benzaldehyde. So this particular structure, as we know that, a substituted benzaldehyde. Now concentrate on this structure. It is having a substituent at 2 position, and what is being substituent? Nitro group. So it is a 2-nitrobenzaldehyde, or I can say it is a ortho-nitrobenzaldehyde, because as we know that 1-2 position is called as a ortho position, so it is also called as a ortho-nitrobenzaldehyde, but more specifically IUPAC name is 2-nitrobenzaldehyde. Then it is being very easy to give the names by seeing the structure, but vice versa practice also we need to remember. So when I read the word 3-bromo-4-methoxybenzaldehyde, so first I will see what is the suffix being used. Benzaldehyde, as I know the structure of benzaldehyde, so this is the structure of benzaldehyde, right? Then I will see at 3 position there is a bromo, so at 3 position there is a bromo, and at 4 position there is a methoxy group. So try to put the groups at this particular respective position, you will get the structure. Very simple. The structure should be prepared in mind. If you can't prepare, try it. So this is structure. First carbon, you have to start numbering from that particular carbon which is being directly joined to carbonyl group. So start numbering in this way. If you start numbering in this way, what will happen? The number will get highest. So our purpose is that substituent should get lowest number. Next structure, try to draw 3-methyl cyclopentane carbaldehyde. So when you remember, when you pronounce any particular structure, so what you need to find? You need to find the parent structure. It is a cyclopentane carbaldehyde. So it is a cyclic system having 5 carbons and having CHO group outside. Then 3 position, I must give 3 position as a CH3. So this is how we can easily give the names. 3-methyl cyclopentane carbaldehyde. So this is your structure, right? But 2-in-1-al, bifunctional, means there are two functionality. One is in means double bond, carbon carbon double bond, and one functionality Al. So it is a structure like this. I will find the 2 number and 3 number carbon contains a double bond, so it is a in and then al. IUPAC nomenclature for ketones. As in previous slides, we can easily see that for giving the nomenclature to ketones, we need to simple pattern, that is alkanone. The last letter need to be O-N-E from this particular letter, O-N-E. Let us see one by one examples. Simple ketones. Start selecting longest continuous chain, then start numbering so that this carbon should get minimum number. So what will the name? At 4 position I can see clearly the methyl group. So 4-methyl pentane 2-O-ing. Next, this particular structure is quite different. and it is I can clearly see that there are two carbonyl groups, one at 5 carbon and another is 2 carbons. So it is a dione. Okay, so this is how we can give the naming. It is a hexane 2,5-dione. Hexane means it contains 6 carbons, that's why hexane, but at 2 and 5 position it contains carbonyl groups, so it is a dione. Next structure, cyclic ketone. It is a 5 carbon chain, cyclic, that's why I will use the word cyclo and then pentanone. Next structure. So this particular structure is quite different. See the structure carefully. What you will observe? There are two functionality. One is aldehyde and another is ketone. Okay. So for this particular structure, we need to find out two basic structures. One is, in this case, we have to first identify the aldehyde as the parent functionality. So aldehyde will becomes your parent functionality, and this particular part, the oxo will become substituent. So this is how you can start numbering. So I will start numbering in this way. So at 4 position, what you will find, it is a 4 oxo and 1 pentanol. Remember this structure. Okay, I will repeat again. Make aldehyde as the parent functionality. Okay, once you become the aldehyde as a parent functionality, then start numbering from carbonyl carbon, which is being from aldehyde family. Let us see aromatic ketones. In aromatic ketones, you will find there is aromatic ring at one side and one is methyl group. So this structure, very well known structure, acetophenone. In case of the acetophenone, you will find aromatic ring at one side and methyl ring at another side. Next structure, benzophenone. And you will find that carbonyl group is being attached to benzene rings. So this particular structure is called as a benzophenone. Next structure. Again, the cyclic system. Carbonyl group at 2 positions. So this particular structure is para-benzoquinone. So this structure is para-benzoquinone because you will find that at 1 and 4 carbon there is a carbonyl group. So it is a para-benzoquinone. Try to write the name 4,4-dimethyl cyclopentanone. So first I will see the word cyclopentanone. So it is a cyclic system which is having 5 carbons. Okay, and at 4 position there is a 2 groups. Which are 2 groups? Methyl. So this will be your structure. This will carbon number 1, 2, 3 and this will be 4. So at 4 position there you will find 2 groups. Which are those? Methyl. So this is how you can give numbering to aldehydes and ketones. You need to remember simple rules. If you apply this particular rules, I am sure that you will be in a position to write the names to compounds. When you study the IUPAC nomenclature, try to write the structures on the papers. Unless you don't write the structures on the papers, it will be very difficult to give the naming to such a kind of compounds. With this brief introduction to nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones, for this today's session we will stop. Try to practice and study. Thank you very much.